Today we're going to talk about using the EqualLogic Manual Transfer Utility, the MTU. The MTU is a host-based tool that enables the secure transfer of large amounts of data using removable media such as thumb drives, external hard drives, or tape, integrated with the native replication function of the EqualLogic firmware. EqualLogic Manual Transfer Utility is beneficial in environments where data protection is critical but bandwidth is limited. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is download the Manual Transfer Utility, the MTU, from the EqualLogic support site. So you'll have to log into the EqualLogic support site using your credentials. You'll go to Downloads, go to the PS Series firmware, and then what you'll do is once you do that, you're going to expand the Manual Transfer Utility section, and you'll see what particular download you want, either Windows, Linux, or the help files. So I went ahead and selected Windows, and once that was downloaded, I ran the setup. A couple things to note about version 1.2.3 that they've added is it does the copy verify functionality. At the end of the transfer, the MTU will initiate a block-to-block compare of the source and destination to validate the copy. It also added some documentation in various other languages as well. So again, you're going to run the setup program and accept all of the defaults. So we want to verify that the setup program for the MTU was installed. So how we can do that is just go to All Programs, look for the EqualLogic directory, expand that, and then you could see the Manual Transfer Utility program already installed. So if that wasn't installed and you try to launch this, and this is from the Tools section of your EqualLogic Group Manager, if you would have tried to install this Manual Transfer Utility tool, it would have given you an error saying that it was unable to find the proper files to launch that tool. Also note, we downloaded 1.2.3, and that is compatible with versions 5.1 and above to 6.x. So if you have previous versions of the firmware, you can go to the same EqualLogic support site on that same page, Downloads, PS Series firmware. There's a legacy at the bottom of the screen, legacy firmware that you can select and pick the version that will work with your particular version of firmware. Okay, so in our lab we have two sites set up for replication. We have CCLL and LALL. LALL is the replication partner. We have two volumes set up for replication. We have Cape Vol 1 and Cape Vol 2. For today's testing, we're just going to use Cape Vol 2 for the MTU transfer. So we'll go ahead and click on replication, and we expand the outbound replicas. And you'll see here we have Cape Vol 2. That's again the one that we're going to use today with the MTU. I'm going to go ahead and right click that particular volume or that replica, and I'm going to say create replica. The create replica pop-up window comes up and says, would you like to create a replica of volume Cape Vol 2 now? I'm going to say perform manual replication and click yes. Okay, so after clicking yes, you'll see under the replication summary that the status shows manual replication in progress. So what we want to do here is over under the activities area, we're going to select perform manual transfer. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. The manual transfer utility tool will pop up. You'll see that the pending and incomplete data transfers in the storage group CCLL, that shows the Cape Vol 2. So we're going to go ahead and click on the actions column. We're going to select the start data copy hyperlink. So I'll go ahead and click that. I'm going to accept the step 1. I'm going to accept that. The location, you can go ahead and browse to the location that you'd like to use. I'm going to go ahead and select a external hard drive. This is a USB external hard drive. I'll leave it at the root level of that. I'll go ahead and click Next. I'll accept the summary. I can look the summary over. Then I'll click Finish to accept. The data transfer operation has successfully started. So you can see the pop-up window here giving us that message. It's saying use the manual transfer utility to check status of the data transfer and perform other tasks. So we're going to go ahead and say OK to that. And then we're going to click this commit copy status URL under actions. It'll then come up with another pop-up saying manual data transfer is complete. If the status is committed to the group, it will trigger an update of volume replication status on both partners. Do you want to commit the data transfer complete status to the group? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. As you can see, that action has disappeared. So we're going to go ahead and close this utility window. Before we move on to the next step, I want to go ahead and verify that the replica file was created. And as you can see here, I've opened up my, this is on my external drive, that's the K drive. If you recall, I saved the replica to the root level of that, and it's an EQD file. So you can see it right here, ccll.kate vol2.lall.0.eqd. Again, before I started the next step, I wanted to just to verify that that file was there, and we see it here, so we're going to move on. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go over to the LALL group, the secondary group. We're going to select that. And you'll see that the under the replication status, you can see that the manual is in progress. It's waiting for us to initiate that. And how we do that, again, this is on the secondary group, is we're going to run the manual transfer utility from the tools section of your group manager. So what you'll do is you'll expand that tools section and you'll see the manual transfer utility. We'll go ahead and select that. And under the pending and incomplete data transfers for this storage group, you'll see that that the Kate Vol 2 is here, and that the replication status shows that the manual is in progress. So we're going to go ahead and initiate that. And how we do that is we're going to go ahead and start the data load. We're going to browse for the file location. Again, if this was an external USB hard drive, which this one is, you could send it to the secondary site. Go ahead and browse for that particular file. So we'll go over to the external hard drive. Again, I put that replica at the root level of K for me. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, say open, and then next, to go ahead and say next. Look over your summary if you like, and then go ahead and click finish. And this will take just a moment. It says the information window pops up and says that the transfer operation has successfully started. Use the manual transfer utility to check the status of the data transfers and perform other tasks. And we'll say OK to that. We'll go ahead, again, on this you're going to have to, under actions, let me expand this a little bit, you'll see commit and complete the status. So we're going to go ahead and click that action. And it says the manual data transfer is complete. If the status is committed to the group, it will trigger an update of the volume replication status on both partners. Do you want to commit the data transfer complete status to the group? I'm going to go ahead and say yes to that. And you can see that that action has cleared. We're going to go ahead and close this manual transfer utility window. And you can see that the action is completed. We now have, here is the latest replica that we just did using the MTU, and it shows that it is completed.